Now at 9, we'll hear from the Joplin Police Department and a local business owner about an uptick in shoplifting during the holidays.
The Georgia Senate runoff is finally here, and voters will have the final say. I'm Lauren Blanchard in Washington. What both candidates are saying on Election Day next.
Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Jordan Aubrey. As Christmas approaches, store owners may see an increase in shoplifting. KOAM's Yana Hatala spoke to the Joplin Police Department about what to expect this holiday season.
With the holidays approaching, people are shopping for gifts. This is also a time where theft cases as well as shoplifting increase.
$1 or $750. There's consequences to it, and you can go to jail. You may have to pay a fine. There's a lot of things that can happen with it. So, any deterrence, to keep people away from stealing is what we're trying to do.
Some thieves come from further away and may steal from a specific chain of stores. Police mostly see local shoplifters in Joplin. A local store owner, Chrissy Caddy, says shoplifters have an effect on everyone.
I don't know that people know the impact it does to small businesses. Every dollar counts, especially right now.
She mostly sees shoplifters stealing jewelry or purses because they are small and easy to take away. For her, honesty is important.
We donate to a ton of different things. If somebody needs something, usually we're more than willing to help somebody out.
Thieves can have different ways of stealing.
They do what we call a push out or a walk out, where they just have the merchandise and just walk straight out the door. A lot of people will try to conceal merchandise on their person or under heavy clothing or in backpacks.
Caddy says walking around the store and having cameras can help store owners to identify shoplifters.
You can't just think guilty, everybody's guilty either. So I think it's a fine line too.
Joplin Police wants to do whatever they can to help people from being victimized.
Call the police department. We'd love to intervene. We want to try to keep these cases as minimal as possible here in the city of Joplin.
In Joplin, Yana Hatala, KOAM News.
Davis also says sometimes those shoplifters steal for themselves, and other times those things are resold to other people. Pittsburgh man is dead after a crash in Crockford County. Authorities say Robert Shaver was traveling south on 220th Road when his vehicle went off the road. He then struck a concrete culvert. His vehicle overturned. Shaver was pronounced dead at the scene. One person is dead and 2 others injured in a crash in Cherokee County, Kansas. Authorities say Trey Cunningham was driving north on Highway 69 alternate when he crossed the center line and hit another vehicle head on. Cunningham was taken to the hospital where he later died. His passenger and the other driver received serious injuries. Meteorologist Doug Keddy joining us now. First, through the forecast, that fog is persistent.
Yeah, and that's why we have a fog advisory in effect, mainly in southwestern Missouri as we go through the overnight hours for us tonight. But you can see the fog out there, a little bit of drizzle, so be careful if you're going to be out on the roadways. Temps today, 50 for a high, right where we should be for the beginning of December. We've dropped back low to mid 40s, 41 Nevada, 45 in Neosho, 45 in Miami. Parsons is sitting at about 43 degrees. But check out the fog from Stockton, Springfield, back into northeastern Oklahoma. It really kind of deteriorates once you get out across the Kansas side. But it is going to be out there for us tonight. And a big, thick deck of clouds sitting on top of us. There are some pockets of drizzle. So light it doesn't really pick up on the radar. But look at this rain increasing down through parts of Texas. This moisture is going to head toward us by this time tomorrow evening. So we're going to be mainly dry tonight. We're going to have the fog. We'll drop back to about 41 degrees. We'll talk about that rain working in here in just a bit.
Thanks as always. One of our partners for KOAM's Toy Box campaign is the Marine Corps Reserve Toys for Tots, which is celebrating its 75th anniversary this year. KOAM's Jalen Banks was able to catch up with one family whose Christmas was saved by this program.
Christmas shopping is in full swing, but many people are facing financial challenges. And Toys for Tots continues to make sure that everyone has a great Christmas.
Had some financial struggles, with the way the economy has been. And if I wouldn't be able to get help this year, these kiddos would not have no Christmas.
And the Myers kids are grateful for their future presents.
I'm really happy that we're really getting this because normally people don't get these things like everybody else does.
The oldest sibling, Zach, looks forward to his younger siblings having a great Christmas.
I'm happy that they're going to give us toys, they're going to help my little brother and sister out. Something that I would probably like for Christmas is a new hoodie. I'm happy that they're going to help other people out here.
Sandra Love of Toys for Tots says by helping others, it does something to her heart.
And then I'm able to say, yeah, we can do that. We got you. So my heart grew, like the Grinch's heart. My heart grew 10 times whenever I became coordinator. And every time I get to say yes, it grows a little more.
Love also says, including the Myers family, that they will be providing toys to 6,000 kids, which is up by 2,000 from a year ago. In Commerce, Oklahoma, Jalen Banks, KOAM News.
The Marine Corps Reserve Toys for Tots is going to keep its signups open until December 20th. Well, last week, we showed you our shopping adventure with Equity Bank, and yesterday we spent the morning with 6 wonderful kiddos from Soaring Heights Elementary. KOAM photojournalist Ty Parks takes us to the 7th Street Walmart in Joplin.
You guys are part of student council?
Yeah.
Who would have thought student council would lead to a shopping spree at Walmart?
Okay, you go where you think we should go.
I'm not used to this anymore.
It's fun shopping with the kids. They give us ideas that we might not otherwise come up with. They help to keep us more current, make sure that we get things that kids are actually interested in buying, and they get a joy out of it, I think. And also, it's probably a lesson for them in just the joy of giving.
So we have Nerf guns, ammunition, and Lego sets, and vests.
Okay, so what do you still need?
We still need coloring book, sketchbook.
Of course I enjoy it. Being around the kids, my favorite part as, being a sports guy, I always end up throwing footballs and baseballs and stuff down the aisles with the kids. So that's one of my favorite parts, and I always have a good time out here.
Oh yeah, put it in the box. Always got the glove on. Here it comes. Yep.
Because I've used some of these kids to get ideas for my own kid because, you don't know what's cool for your children really sometimes. So to get an idea of people who are about the same age or who are closer to the same age as your kid, yeah, it definitely helps out.
I'm really excited that I can just go around, pick toys, just have fun here. I think about other people sometimes, but if it's like around Christmas, I think of myself and others.
KOAM Toy Box. KOAM Toy Box.
KOAM Toy Box. Thanks, guys, for helping out. Plenty of other organizations are also helping out with toy box shopping. Well, the Watco Christmas train stopped in Pittsburgh to board around 300 first grade students for a train ride, a special train ride with Santa. It's 2 elves. The goal is to get the kiddos familiar with trains while showing some Christmas spirit.
Well, it takes me back a lot of years when I got my first Christmas train, and it brings back a lot of memories, and it's kind of neat to just see the joy in the kids' faces.
When Santa hugged me.
Hey, you don't get any hugs from Santa that often, right? Train ride was an hour-long ride, and the students were also served cookies. How cool is that? Well, a lot of four-staters rely on food banks, and this time of year, budgets can be especially stressed. That's why Fox 14 is conducting its 19th annual Feed the Four States Food Drive. We're collecting non-perishable food items for area food pantries, places like Crosslines and Wesley House during this season of high demand. You can also make a monetary donation online at KOAMnewsnow.com/feed. The food drive is going to continue until December 31st. The last Senate race to be decided all comes down to today. Will Democrats expand its majority in Congress to 51 senators, or will Republicans have one more vote to slow down Democratic priorities? Fox News correspondent Lauren Blanchard has more on the Georgia Senate runoff race from Washington.
Despite a rainy and soggy election day, the candidates are pushing for every last vote in the Georgia Senate runoff race between incumbent Senator Raphael Warnock.
I got a feeling that the people of Georgia are going to get this right.
And football star Herschel Walker.
We're going to get out and win this election.
The Georgia Secretary of State said this runoff was more low-key than the one in 2021 because control of the Senate is not at stake.
So far, nothing is disrupting voting. This is a calmer environment. This is a more methodical environment. We feel good about where we are. The counties are doing a great job.
In November's election, Warnock led Walker, just not by enough to avoid the runoff. This time, nearly 2 million turned out for early and mail-in voting. Democrats are optimistic because that typically favors their candidate.
I think the Democrats had a money advantage here, a mail-in vote advantage here.
But Republicans are hopeful those braving the gloomy conditions to cast their ballot will be their ticket to a win. They say Walker in the Senate will serve as a check on power to President Biden and progressive Democrats.
This is a firewall against the Biden agenda, and it's a firewall against Chuck Schumer in the Senate, to the point relative to committees.
A 51st seat for Democrats would mean they would also fully control committees instead of sharing power like they do in the current 50-50 Senate. In Washington, Lauren Blanchard, Fox News.
KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14 takes this time to honor another four-state hero. Arthur Stanton served in the U.S. Navy from 1943 to 46. And we are proud to thank and salute Boatswain's mate Arthur Stanton, native of Southwest City, Missouri. He's tonight's four-state hero. Coming up, using guns to take out power.
Thousands of North Carolina residents brace for days without power after an attack on electrical substations. I'm Jonathan Seri in Atlanta. I'll have details coming up.
A weekend attack on a North Carolina electric grid leaves thousands without power. Multiple agencies now involved in the investigation. Fox News correspondent Jonathan Seri has more.
An attack on two electrical substations disrupted life in North Carolina on Tuesday. Thousands of customers in Moore County remained in the dark for a third day. Duke Energy officials say due to the extent of the damage, equipment needs to be shipped in and repairs will take time. Many customers could be without power until Thursday.
Especially for the elderly people on medical support and things of that nature. It's just insane that these people don't think about these things. It's terrible.
Law enforcement officials have not revealed a potential motive for what they say was an intentional gunfire attack. The FBI and Department of Energy are among those agencies investigating. North Carolina Governor Roy Cooper says it's clear whoever carried out the strikes knew how to cause significant damage.
We have to have a serious national conversation about protecting our critical infrastructure, because this is unacceptable to have this many people without power for this long.
For now, schools remain closed and traffic lights are out around the county. Hospitals are operating on backup generators. Some local business owners are distributing food, water, and other supplies to residents.
I'm lucky that I have a little business that can run on generators and I can feed people and give them coffee. So we are working hard to get everyone healthy and happy and feeling a little bit of comfort right now.
Duke Energy says it plans to review security measures at substations as a result of these attacks. In Atlanta, Jonathan Seri, Fox News.
Mr. Doug Hattie's next with completely the forecast. A bit later, how higher limits on mortgages giving buyers more flexibility in the housing market.
Well, it definitely turned out to be a kind of a dreary, foggy day for us today. We had kind of the drizzle through most of the day, and we're going to continue to have the fog throughout the overnight hours tonight. In fact, dense fog advisory is in effect until tomorrow morning. This is mainly strictly on the Missouri side due to the fog that we have out there right now. Here's 7th and Rangeline. You can kind of see it's a little bit foggy, so be careful. Could have a little bit of drizzle, so some of the roads may be a little wet. 44. Northerly winds very light, humidity is high. The fog is going to stick around. Temperatures, most of us are sitting low to mid 40s. 41 in Iola, 45 in Nowata, 46 at Grand. Carthage is sitting at about 43 degrees. And look at the fog across the region. Southwestern Missouri, northeastern Oklahoma, visibilities are low. Most of us mile or so, and then it really clears up once you get out across southeastern Kansas. So that's good, at least our western counties. All right, through the overnight, 43 at 11, 41 by 7. Overnight low, 41. We'll be back to 46 by 10. Clouds really aren't going anywhere. These are going to hang pretty tight. You can actually see them thickening up just a bit once you get across northeastern parts of Oklahoma. So this is what we're going to see. Now, let's go underneath the clouds. Not much showing up. Even though there are pockets of drizzle, it's so small you can't really see it picking up on the radar. Let's go south, down through parts of Texas. You can see this band of showers. This is our next wave. It's going to expand and head toward us as we go through the next 24 hours. Drizzle tonight, rain chances really shoot up. So here's 6 p.m., 9 p.m. tomorrow evening, midnight, 3 a.m. Thursday morning, and then starting to taper off as we go through Thursday morning. Let's march through time. Clouds tonight, fog, especially on the Missouri side, most of us lower 40s. We do bounce near 50 by noon. Most of us low to mid 50s. 51 in Nevada, 55 in Monette, Miami 53, Parsons 50. We're looking at 4:30. Look at the rain increasing northeastern parts of Oklahoma and just explodes on top of us tomorrow night. All the way into our northern counties, showers, not really looking at thunderstorms, but light to moderate rain, persistent big batch for about 6 or 7 hours, which we need. Let's go to 2 a.m. on Thursday. Still rain across the region. Heaviest works out, but still kind of regenerates as we get into Thursday morning. Bands of showers. Heaviest again of this batch out by the noon hour, but still some scattered showers behind it as we go into Thursday afternoon. And then finally we start to clear out a little bit as we head into Thursday night. All right, day plan at 41 to start, 50 by noon, high 55. Rain increases during the evening hours. We need some rain. Looks like the heaviest along and south of I-44, where we could pick up upwards of an inch, maybe a little bit more. Lesser amounts once you get into our northern counties. 55 tomorrow, 62 on Thursday. Friday looks good, 56 on Saturday. Sunday looks good ahead of our next storm system, which we'll talk about in our second half hour.
How about the temperature on Monday, man? It's 67 degrees. It's pretty good.
Yeah, but it's going to be raining.
It's going to be raining, yeah. Catch 22. See you in a little bit.
All righty.
Congressional Republicans hope to end the military's COVID vaccine requirement for those who serve. The commander-in-chief and other military leaders, though, support the mandate. Some say, though, it's part of the reason why recruitment has lagged behind targets. Fox News correspondent Madeline Rivera reporting tonight from D.C.
To serve in the military, you've got to check off a list of requirements, from being at least 17 years old to passing a physical exam. But one item may no longer be mandatory: getting a COVID-19 vaccine.
Congress needs to put an end to the vaccine mandate for our troops.
Republicans are pushing to remove the vaccine mandate in the annual defense policy bill. House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy says he raised the issue with President Biden and warned the roughly $800 billion bill won't move forward if the mandate isn't lifted.
That's the first victory of having a Republican majority.
The military has had requirements about other vaccines for decades, and there hasn't been a problem.
The campaign to repeal the requirement comes as the military struggles with recruitment. Critics call that a national security crisis, and some say the mandate may be partly to blame.
Where it is having an impact, for sure, is on recruiting. Where parts of the country, there's still myths and misbeliefs about the backstory behind it.
But President Biden and the Pentagon want to keep the mandate in place.
The Secretary of Defense has recommended retaining the mandate. That's because the COVID vaccination requirement was put in place to keep our service members safe and healthy and prepared for service.
The defense policy bill is expected to go to the House floor Thursday. In Washington, Madeline Rivera, Fox News.
Coming up, could it be 2007 all over again?
Coming up, I'll tell you how the government is revving up the housing market.
Despite fears of a global recession, the airline industry is expected to turn to a profit in 2023 for the first time in 4 years. A forecast by the International Air Transport Association predicts airlines are going to earn a net profit of $4.7 billion. The organization says net losses for 2022 are expected to be $6.9 billion. That's less than it had previously forecast and significantly better than both 2021 and 2020. The last time the industry made money was, of course, 2019. That's before the pandemic pushed demand down. Take a quick look in the fridge before you pack your next lunch for school or work. If you like this sort of a meat, I don't know. Kraft Heinz Foods Company is recalling about 2,400 pounds of its ready-to-eat Oscar Mayer ham and cheese loaf. According to the U.S. Department of Ag, the products may have fallen victim to cross-contamination with under-processed material. So far, there's been no word of any illnesses related to the recall. Consumers are advised to take the loaf to the place of purchase for a refund or just throw it out. Be safe. Better than safe than sorry, right? Higher limits for federally backed mortgages are going to give buyers more flexibility as they hunt for houses. Fox Business Network's Jerry Willis has more from a home in Westchester County, New York.
The government has an interesting cure for an overinflated housing market: extend more credit to buyers. To qualify for a $1 million mortgage, Americans typically have to make a down payment of 20%. But starting next year, that requirement will plummet to just 3% in a handful of expensive coastal markets. That's because the cap for loans backed by Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac rises to $1,089,000 next year. And it's not just blue states getting a boost. Loan limits are rising to an average of $726,000 across the country. And because Freddie and Fannie are backed by the full faith and credit of the United States, well, that means taxpayers are on the hook. Here in Bronxville, an affluent New York suburb, the down payment on this house, were it to have gone to market next year, would be $31,500 rather than $210,000.
The people who benefit the most from this actually are the affluent folks, because those are the people playing in those markets to begin with. And so some people might argue, why is the government helping out the affluent in this case to buy houses in really nice communities?
Critics say boosting loan limits will increase housing demand and prices. All of it reminiscent of the situation back in 2007, right before the housing crash, when the government made loans to people who couldn't afford them. In New York, Jerry Willis, Fox Business.
Up next, what scientists are learning about a newly discovered dinosaur species. A newly discovered dinosaur species may have been a diving predator, much like a penguin or a duck. Take a look at that thing. A team of scientists around the world published a new study saying the species. All right, here we go. Natovenator polydontus had a hollow body with 3 toes, claws on each limb. It also had streamlined ribs, like those of a diving bird. Researchers say the species likely used their forearms to propel them through water. We were just talking about this in the commercial. At least this thing doesn't look so scary. You see the pictures of dinosaurs, and my gosh, makes you thankful we're living today, 30 more minutes, news, weather, and sports coming away. How the Salvation Army is helping the community during the holiday season. Plus, 2 local organizations partner up for a Christmas for Kids campaign. Christmas elves over at the Pittsburgh Salvation Army are working hard, trying to make less fortunate kiddos in the community feel the holiday spirit. KOAM's Amber Jenkins spoke to the Salvation Army about how toys can make a big difference in the community.
The Salvation Army in Pittsburgh is partnering with KOAM's Toy Box as well as other community organizations to give toys and clothing to the less fortunate families in Crawford County.
As well as monetary gifts that have come into us, we will turn around and buy toys. We also rely on KOAM Toy Box, who gives us toys that have been donated from Crawford County, and that helps fill the need.
Pittsburgh Salvation Army's goal is to help as many families in Crawford County during the holiday season.
And this year our numbers are significantly up. We have about 120 more families than we did last year and about 400 more individuals. So our numbers are up, thus the need is greater.
Pittsburgh High School Keys Club members are acting as elves, creating boxes of toys and clothing to bring a smile to kids and their families.
They are selecting the toys. The parent or guardian has preferenced 3 toys. We will hope to get at least one of those, but then they will choose other age-appropriate toys. So they are really looking at it, and I always tell them, think about if you were opening these on Christmas morning.
The local high school students are happy to play the role of Santa's helpers.
It's just so much fun because we get to collaborate with other students that we don't usually talk to. We get to ride over here, we get to get out of school, and we get to help families that are going to receive these amazing gifts donated by amazing people.
Kiara says a small good deed can make a world of a difference.
I believe whether you're in a club or not, it's always good to help those around you because you don't know how much of a difference you make. Like even holding a door open, smiling, telling someone they're beautiful, they had an amazing day can make such a big difference.
Reporting in Pittsburgh, Amber Jenkins, KOAM News.
The toys are going to be distributed next week. Well, the Salvation Army Toy Drive is focused on children. They also have food vouchers for adult-only households in need. Joplin-based call center Alorica partnered with Joplin Fire Department for the annual Christmas for Kiddos campaign. The employees donated toys and wrapping supplies to help local kids in Christmas. They've donated over 2,000 gifts and $2,000 in cash to the charity.
As firefighters, it's always wonderful for us to be able to help people, and that's what we do. But to be able to reach out and help facilitate a program like this where we give toys out to the kids during the holidays, especially those that can't afford it.
This is the 5th year Alorica has partnered with Joplin area firefighters Christmas for Kids. After people donate to our Toy Box campaign, we take that money, use it to buy toys to hand out to families in need closer to Christmas. Our friends over at Abernathy Roofing joined us on one of our recent toy shopping trips. KOAM photojournalist Ty Parks went along to check it all out.
This is something we look forward to every single year. It's our son's most favorite day of the year to come and shop, and it just feels amazing to be able to help in this toy box campaign every year.
I'm doing everything.
Christmas is our whole family's favorite time of the year. We love to give to our family, to our friends, to the community, and we try to live that throughout the year. But this time of year, there's just that something about Christmas time that everybody just loves to give, and we just get extra giving throughout this time of year. So we always want to make sure that each age group and gender is taken care of, and so we had the boys get the boys stuff, and then I took on the teen girls.
This is weird. Stupid.
Thank you for supporting the KOAM Toy Box from Abernathy Roofing and Construction. Merry Christmas.
We want to give a big thank you to the folks over at Abernathy for all your support as well. A bit later, a visit to Dollywood.
If you've been working 9 to 5 and you're tired and you need a place to stay, well, I've got the spot for you. I'm Madison Allworth in Dollywood, and coming up, I'll tell you how much you have to pay if you want to stay at the Country Music Icons tour bus.
Well, it definitely turned out to be a gloomy one for us today. Temperatures, they really didn't go anywhere. Plus, we had the clouds, had a little bit of drizzle, the fog throughout the daytime hours for us today. And in fact, we have a dense fog advisory in effect until 9 o'clock in the morning. This is only on the Missouri side. This is where the thickest fog is, but be very careful if you are going to be out, because some of the visibilities are a little bit low across the region. We do have a nice thick deck of clouds, still even a few pockets of a little bit of drizzle across the region, but not much showing up on the radar. But if we head south, you can see our next band of rain down across parts of Texas, and this moisture is going to head toward us as we go through about the next 18 to 24 hours, giving us our next chances for rain. In fact, let's look at our handy-dandy graph. You can see just drizzle tonight, drizzle, and then rain chances shoot up. Here's 6 p.m., here's 9 p.m., midnight, 3 a.m., 6 a.m. Thursday, 9 a.m. on Thursday. So you can see our highest chances for rain during the overnight hours for us tomorrow night. All right, let's march through time. Clouds tonight, fog, a little bit of drizzle. We'll drop back, upper 30s northern counties, everybody else lower 40s. Cloudy skies through the morning hours. You can see a random shower popping up in northeastern parts of Oklahoma. But then it really expands once we get into late afternoon. Here's 4:30. Most of the day for us will be dry. Rain really increases tomorrow evening into tomorrow night. Here's 9:30, so about 24 hours away. Light to moderate, persistent rain across most of the region, heaviest along and south of I-44. Here's 2 a.m. on Thursday, one batch out, second one kind of develops on top of us. So here's Thursday morning, heading out the door, and then the heaviest rain gone by the noon hour on Thursday, but still clouds and light showers sticking around even into Thursday evening, and then we'll get a break. This system is going to rotate out. We'll actually clear out a little bit by the time we head into Friday morning. All right, so here's your day planner tomorrow. 41 in the morning, 50 by noon, high of 55. We'll back to 53 by 5 p.m. Showers developing during the evening hours. Another pretty gloomy day. Rainfall amounts with this next system, heaviest I-44 and south. You're going to see this trend for the next several months. This is the way our pattern is going to be all the way until next summer. Always heaviest amounts along and south of I-44. 1, maybe 2 inches, and then a ½ an inch, and then a ¼ of an inch once you get into our northwestern counties. All right, this system rotates out. Friday looks pretty good. Here comes our next wave, again, mainly along and south of I-44. This is going to be late Saturday into Sunday morning. Then this is gone. Sunday looks pretty good. We actually start to warm up, and a much bigger system rolls in next Monday and Tuesday. We could have thunderstorms, and those could be severe. So we need to watch that. 55 tomorrow, 62 Thursday, 52 Friday.
So severe, meaning, thunderstorms-ish or snow?
No.
Thunderstorms. All right.
We'll just have to watch it.
All right, man. Thank you so much, Doug. Hey, we have an update on the Georgia Senate runoff election. Raphael Warnock has been declared the projected winner, beating out Republican challenger Herschel Walker. Coming up in sports, Webb City boys opening up the basketball season at home against Lamar. Plus, the Missouri Southern women continue their climb up the national rankings. Jacob Leonard has that and more next.
Well, tonight is the opening night of the basketball season for the Webb City High School boys team. And the Cards open the season at home tonight, hosting the Lamar Tigers. Now this one, also the first game of the season for Lamar. Now Webb City off to a hot start tonight early on. Eli Pace gets the steal, eventually gets to the other end and gives it up to Baron Duda. And more from Duda in a little bit. Then Pace gets an open look of his own, knocks down the three. Webb City opens a 22-8 lead after the first quarter. In the second quarter, Baron Duda really caught fire, man. Hits the three from the far side. Then moments later, different side, same result. That gets the Cardinals' lead to 22. Other end, Joel Beshore trying to keep Lamar in it. He knocks down the three. Tigers did close the gap a little, but in that second quarter, Baron Duda, too good. He had 19 points in the second quarter alone, finished with 25 for the game. Webb City rolls by Lamar in their season opener 78-60. At the college level, the Missouri Southern women continue their climb up the national rankings this week. The Lions are up one spot to number 4 in this week's WBCA national poll. Southern is 9-0 to begin the season, including 2-0 in the MIAA after beating Missouri Western and Northwest Missouri last week. The Lions will be back on the floor on Thursday night on the road against Central Oklahoma. The Kansas City Chiefs are on the road this weekend facing the Denver Broncos. Now, with a win, combined with a Chargers loss, the Chiefs would claim their 7th consecutive AFC West championship. The Kansas City coming off a bit of a setback. On Sunday, they fell to the Bengals 27-24. That loss snapped a 5-game winning streak for Kansas City. Cincinnati racked up 431 total yards. Quarterback Joe Burrow completed 25 of 31 passes against the Chiefs defense that kind of struggled a little bit on the back end.
As hurt as they are, I think that's going to help them grow. And, whether it's a leverage thing, whether it's your footwork and how you handle that, all those things against good players, they look at it properly, which they're pretty good that way. They look at it properly, they can grow from that.
Former Oklahoma Sooners quarterback Baker Mayfield has a new home in the NFL. Mayfield was claimed off waivers today by the LA Rams. The Rams are without their starter, Matthew Stafford, due to a spinal contusion. Mayfield was released by the Panthers on Monday after going 1-5 in 6 starts for the team. Former Heisman winner was the #1 overall pick out of Oklahoma by the Cleveland Browns back in 2018. And that's a look at sports. We're back with more news right after this.
Tired of working 9 to 5? Well, then you might think about taking a little vacation Dolly Parton style. You can now spend the night on the Country Legends tour bus. Fox Business correspondent Madison Ellsworth got a sneak peek.
We are officially in the coolest suite here at Dollywood. This is Dolly Parton's tour bus. You can now live like the country star herself. I mean, take a look at her wigs there. Then you can swing over here, do your makeup where she does her makeup, because you know what she likes to say, it takes a lot of money to look this cheap. And we are talking about a lot of money. If you want to stay here for 2 nights, that's going to cost you $10,000. But it goes to a good cause, and this is quite an epic bus. I want to bring in Jen Webb. Jen, let's talk about that $10,000. What do the profits go towards?
So all of the profits from every stay go directly to Dolly Parton's Imagination Library, which she founded in honor of her father, and it has given more than 200 million books to kids all over the world since it started in 1995.
All right, and so Dolly fans know that she does not love to fly or stay in hotels, so she must have spent a lot of time on this bus. What are the pieces that she created while she was here?
So Backwoods, Barbie, and 9 to 5 the musical are a couple to note, but really anything she wrote within the last 15 years, you can probably bet she wrote while she was on this bus.
Amazing. Jen, thank you so much. I want to leave you with one last piece of Dolly history. As you can tell, this is a full-size fridge. Most tour buses don't have a fridge this big, but Dolly was insistent that she needed it. So to get this on board, they actually had to take out the front windshield of the bus in order to lift this fridge into the bus. And you can enjoy this and everything else that is all Dolly, like I said, for $10,000 for 2 nights. At Dollywood, I'm Madison Allworth, Fox Business.
Good golly. Speaking of Dolly, making her TikTok debut. Look at that. That and some more Hollywood news coming your way. A country legend making her debut on TikTok. An upcoming celebrity memoir gets a release date and more. Here's Fox's Ashley working with Liz from the Hollywood Nation.
It's really hard to look back on it now and go, what on earth happened?
Harry and Meghan get a date, and Dolly launches a new account in the Hollywood Nation.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dolly Parton.
Dolly Parton is officially on TikTok. The country music legend launched her profile Sunday with a montage of her biggest moments on stage and on screen. She's already posted several more videos, including one featuring a clip of her song Berry Pie, which is available exclusively on the social media platform for users to include in their video creations. Elliot Page has revealed more details about his upcoming memoir. The Umbrella Academy star revealed the cover, title, and release date. Page Boy will chronicle his career, experiences as a trans person, mental health journey, and more. It will be available June 6, 2023.
There's a hierarchy of the family.
The Harry and Meghan docuseries is dropping this week. Along with a new trailer, Netflix revealed it will be released in 2 parts. The first half arriving Thursday, the second part December 15th. The series will examine the early days of the couple's courtship to their retreat from life as working royals.
It is so nice to meet you guys.
Speaking of Netflix, the streamer also released a first look at You People, an upcoming comedy starring Jonah Hill and Eddie Murphy. The film centers on a couple who fall in love and find themselves navigating through societal expectations and generational differences in their families. It debuts January 27th.
What in the mother?
In Hollywood, Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
I want to see that last movie. Seems pretty good. That's our time for tonight. Thanks so much for joining us. Going to leave you tonight with video of the Joplin Christmas Parade. Fun time. Thanks for everyone who attended. Hey, be safe. Do this all again tomorrow. See you then.